All right, looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. This is going to be a cool video. This will be a first installment of the 90-day challenge that we got going on. I think some of you guys are even inside this challenge. We're doing a friendly competition for Leah members and non-Leah members, and really anyone kind of in our orbit that wants to go put $10,000 to work in their business and compete with us and other members. I think it's gonna be really fun. This is totally separate than the 90-day course that we released. I think there's some questions on that. Sumner, is this the same thing? The 90-day course was, we did this with two other land investors. We documented the whole process. We packaged that up as kind of like an over-the-shoulder program. There's no coaching involved in this. This isn't any form of coaching. This is just a friendly competition, right? So I want to make sure those are distinct, right? The 90-day Zero to Hero program, Dennis and Rob, that was just a case study where we took $10,000. We turned it into over 200K. People really, really like that. And we packaged it up. That's a program that people can get access to. What we're doing here is just a competition. Again, there's no coaching to this. So if you guys are looking for coaching, this is not it. If you're looking for coaching, landinvestor.co/apply to get an invite into Leah or see if you're a good fit for Leah. But what we're going to do here today is I'm going to go through and start picking markets. I think kind of the competitive edge that I'm going to use here is I've got access to Leah market analysis platform. So it's going to allow me to pick markets really, really quickly. So we're going to go through, start picking some markets. And frankly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to front load my marketing, right? I'm going to use the advantages that I have, those being that I can pick markets really quickly and that I've got a team that can handle, 19,000 mailers going out the door and hitting within a few week period. Now, the reason that I'm front loading my marketing is I want as much time as possible for that marketing to season. Okay. At the end of the day, we're going to all use the competitive edges that we have here. And I think when we go and look at the final scoreboard for all the folks that are inside this challenge, it'll be really cool to say, oh, they won, and let's go look at their business. Oh, they won because X, Y, and Z, right? Maybe I win, maybe I don't win. I don't know. I'm not too hung up on it, but I think that I do have a competitive advantage because I've got the infrastructure that can handle a big surge in mail. What's going to happen for a lot of folks that don't have a team is they're going to have to slow roll their mail out, right? They might be still sending mail out on the 8th week, and that mail really isn't going to season in time when we get to week 12. So if I can front load my mail now, I'm going to have a lot more time for leads to come in. And I think I'll get more leads, and I think I'll get better deals because of it. So really my goal this week is let's slam as much mail out there as possible. So let's dive into it. Before we do, I'm going to show you guys just kind of a cool little breakdown of the folks that are inside this challenge. And I think some of the interesting things that you're going to see in here. So I just want to share that with you. Just as you guys see on that little doobly-doo down below, we've got 3 spots left for the Leah market selection platform. So far, the feedback has been pretty gangbusters on it. So anyways, let's go down here. So you guys will see inside this spreadsheet. So there's about 22 people in on this challenge. Not everyone's filled in their data. This is the first day that we've gone live. So the clock struck midnight last night, rolled over into Monday. We are now live. And so people are still kind of getting their information sent in here. Here's the KPIs that we're going to be tracking each week. We're going to have a final deal tracker here at the very end. If this stuff is inputted late past Sunday every week, you'll be disqualified from the challenge. Okay. It's really important. This stuff is filled in a timely manner. It's really hard to retroactively look back and try to have correct KPIs. I find that most people just end up fudging their numbers, even if it's accidental. And more than anything, I want to encourage good behavior. KPIs, whether you're in this challenge or not, need to be tracked every week. You really can't make decisions in your business without clear KPIs. So that's the part of the portion here is like just making sure all this stuff is done in a timely fashion. This is kind of interesting, right? So one of the things that we had folks put down here is their cost per mail. So you'll see how this is really going to differentiate how much mail we can get out, right? I'm at 52 cents. I don't know how someone says they're at 48 cents. I need to get some more info on if they're really at 48 cents. It's a pretty amazing deal. If it is, it's the lowest I've personally ever seen. So I'd love to get some backstory on that, Mr. Ben Holm. But yeah, you'll see here there's a bit of a delta. Some people are at 63 cents, 63 cents, 57 cents, 52 cents, 55 cents. So this stuff will matter, right? In a challenge like this, it's like who can get the most mail out by having the lowest cost of mail, who can pick the most markets. This stuff is really going to kind of play out. I think that we're going to see this be like a 1-to-1 correlator for success. I look at crazy things could happen, but I'd be very, very shocked if the person with the most expensive mail with the least market selected somehow won this challenge. One of the other cool things that we're tracking are the offer types being used. You can see so far everyone's committing to blind offers. We'll probably use a range of offer types for us, and we'll outline that here. But yeah, guys, I think this is going to be exciting. I'm going to dive into it and start picking markets here. I've got a little journal over here. I'm old school. Personally, when I'm picking markets, I like to write a lot of this stuff down. It just, I don't know, helps me think a little bit better. So we're going to jump into the Leah market selection platform. We got the fresh data in here, just repopulated in August. So we got the fresh data. We're looking at the 20 to 40 acres right now. I put in a lot of my criteria. So I said, hey, pending sell-through rate, 20%, 1 month sell-through rate, at least 15%, 1 year, at least 100%. And those are the filters that I'm going to start with. Okay. And I'm going to start just kind of going through and start looking at these areas. One of the things that I am thinking about is I am keeping a keen eye on which states these counties are in and thinking about, do I have resources in those states, right? Do I have realtors? Do I have title companies? Do I have the ability to double close easily? Like, I am thinking through that. Do I know the subdivide rules in those areas? And so this, like, being vertically integrated in particular states will kind of deviate where I go. For example, I've got way more resources in North Carolina than I do in New Hampshire. So the likelihood of me going to New Hampshire over North Carolina is pretty low, unless these markets are just absolutely bananas, crazy, ridiculous. You've never seen anything like it. Okay. So that's worth noting. All right. Let's start plugging along here. So I am keeping a keen eye on this supply portion here. One of the things that I am thinking about too, the seasonality, right? Now, 90 days from now, we're going to be right kind of smack dab into early winter. So buying land in Minnesota, probably not high on my list, right? I think that the windows started to close to buy land there because selling properties in the dead of winter is really, really hard. So it's something I am going to be thinking about. A little snow on the ground never hurt anyone, but like tons and tons and tons of snow is going to make it pretty darn difficult to get these properties moved in a timely fashion. Now, for this challenge, we're just tracking what's called pipeline profit. Okay, so no one's most likely not going to sell all their properties in the 90-day period. They might sell one or two, but more than likely, let's say we go get 10 contracts. We're going to look at what's the buy price, what's the sell price. And we're going to say that's our pipeline profit, that delta in between. All comps do have to be validated by realtors. So there should be no fluffing of comps. We'll get kind of a hopefully unbiased third-party opinion when coming up with that pipeline profit number. Now, some of those deals will sell. And frankly, there's a lot of different ways you can make this competition, right? You could look at ROAS, you could look at pipeline profit, you could look at who sells the deals. Problem is, who sells the deals kind of outside of our control, as we know the dispo process. We can have control over the markets we select and like where we list our properties and the price points, but on a more micro level, like day to day, that you just have zero control over. So someone could sell a property on the 89th day, another person could sell it on the 91st day, and really they could have done nothing different. It was just sheer luck. I don't really like to play games like that, right? The ROAS is an interesting metric to track for a winner, but frankly, pipeline profit should tell us ROAS, right? We're all starting with the same budget. Some of us are going to mail different amounts because we've got better prices on mail, but it should all kind of net out to be whoever has the highest pipeline profit should have also the highest ROAS, more than likely. I'd be pretty shocked if that didn't come true. I think those are going to be just kind of like a one-to-one indicator that aren't going to separate from each other. All right. So enough yapping here. I'm going to start taking a look at these. So Spartansburg, I'm familiar with this market pretty good. A lot pending currently. Pickens, Marion County, Greenville. Let's go pull up Redfin here. I'll take a look at Spartansburg. I haven't looked at this county in a long time. Spartansburg. I actually did a road trip through Spartansburg a long time ago when I drove across the country. I moved back to San Diego for the second time. Is this the county? What am I looking at here? This just doesn't look right. Spartansburg County. There we go. Okay, so 274 properties for sale. And we're looking at the 20 to 40. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to see how much supply is there in the 20 to 40. And what's the story with price? One of the things that we're adding in here in the next quarter for this platform, which I'm really excited about, is we're adding a median price point tracker. So over here, for example, you would see the median price for 20 to 40 acres over the last year. And we're also going to have a low to high calculator. So it's essentially going to say, For example, the median price for 20 to 40 acres is $10,000. The low price in the last year is $9,000 an acre, and the high price is $12,000 an acre. So you could reasonably say, okay, there's a pretty small delta from that low to high. I feel comfortable to price off of the median. Whereas in some markets, it's like the low to high is 5,000 an acre to 50,000 an acre. That's too big of a delta. That's a little too scary for me to so I can reliably just take the median and price off of it. So this is an update that we're adding here in the next quarter. Free of charge. It's not going to be like an upsell or anything, but this is going to make the platform just bananas bulletproof, like off the charts crazy. So right now, as it stands, I still go over here and kind of take a peek at what properties are listed and what's selling. So we got 16 properties that are actively listed here. And in the last year, 46 that have sold. Price points are pretty high on this. Price points are high. Pricing's pretty homogenous on these, though. I mean, there's some weird ones that definitely fetch big old prices. But this is interesting. I'm going to take a note of this. So we got Spartansburg, SC, and I'm saying 28 to 40 acres. Interesting. Now, I'm not saying I'm mailing that. So for you weirdos that want to just copy all my markets, I'm not saying I'm going to mail it. I'm not going to tell you guys particularly which ones I'm mailing because I know there are unfortunately some weirdos out there that like to just try to ride on other people's coattails. But I'll give you guys kind of an outline of at least where I'm looking. And so you can infer what you'd like with that information. Ohio probably gets a little too cold for my taste. Here's good old Oregon. This has been a really tough state for us to work in. Let's go look at Clatsop County. I've never even heard of Clatsop County. This has just been a really, really difficult place for us to work in. Yeah, not interested. Not interested. Pickens. Let's pull up that Greenville, South Carolina as well. Let's go take a look at this. Greenville County. Let's just go look at what kind of stuff we've got listed here. Price points are going to be pretty darn high on this stuff just because this is kind of outskirts of a metropolitan area. Very, very nice properties, though. This is going to be hard stuff to it's going to be competitive. This is going to be hard stuff to go after. I mean, these are mega price point properties. Frankly, it might take me 20,000 mailers just to get a decent deal out here. I think for the name of this challenge, I'm probably not going to go on the super high end. I think like for us, we'll probably start chopping properties off around the 300, 400K range. I think like our strategy here is, of course, mid-ticket, higher volume. I think I can make more doing a half a dozen deals that make us 50K or 100K each. I mean, that'd be pretty big. But opposed to trying to land one deal that makes us 400K or 500K in one go, I like the strategy of taking a little bit of a higher volume approach. And so we're going to chop off some of this high price point stuff. It's just going to be too difficult to get any leads on. I'd have to dedicate my whole marketing budget to maybe getting a deal. Now, of course, I could still get lucky, but try to keep luck out of the equation as much as possible. This Meigs County, this is a popular one. I've seen a lot of this. Giles County is funny. It's actually my dad's name is Giles. Greene County, Palo Pinto. These are all pretty low volume markets. Just look at this Titus County. It's beautiful land. Very, very pretty. Outside of Fort Worth. Really, really, really pretty land. Let's go peel back here. Interesting. I'm always pretty bullish on these Texas counties. I always find that they just kind of report the numbers inaccurately. in terms of like, I think there's a lot more demand than what meets the eyes on the MLS for some of these Texas counties. Just my hunch. But what I've seen is that like you go list a property out here, you'll find a lot more interest than what's supported here. And I think, frankly, a lot of the sales happen off market and never even hit anything that looks like an online listing platform, you know. So I think that's a big part of these Texas counties. Shelby County, I think I've heard people talking about Shelby County recently. So Shelby, very similar location as Titus. Never really done too much work. On the east side, very, very pretty land out here, though. This is gorgeous property. Very pretty. There's really not much listed out here. Let's just remove these filters temporarily and see what happens. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very pretty land. What the heck is this? There's opportunity to own a corner lot. 2,000 square foot. Huh. I know what this sold for. They're listed at 197. Interesting. Shelby County is interesting. I don't know if I'm in love with it. Palo Pinto. There's so many counties in Texas. It's just never ceases to amaze me. I always find new counties out here. Palo Pinto. A lot of them are so pretty. Okay. West side of Dallas. I am a fan of this area. 429 properties for sale. Sheesh, there is a lot for sale out here. What happens if we start coming here and stacking on some filters to this data? What goes down? Drops substantially. It's really pretty land. I really like this area. I don't think this is necessarily the market for us. I'll take a note of this. Okay. Utah, Sevier County. I haven't looked out in Utah in a long time. Interesting how many of the county names repeat. Yeah, the data is just so bad out here. Vermont, Virginia, Washington, Snohomish. Wow. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. A lot of data. Huh. Look at the last month here. Yeah, not very good. Florida, Liberty, Madison County. All right, let's go back here. Let's go look at the 10s to 20s. So because we're at the lower acreage ranges, we should expect a little more on the sell-through rate side of things. So we could actually probably bump these numbers a little bit. Whoops. No. Just because theoretically these properties are going to have a lower price point, there's just going to be more potential buyers for stuff like this. And so you'll see that you can get a little more aggressive with some of these numbers that we float in here. El Paso County, Florida, lots in Georgia, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota. Culberson, Willacy County. Culberson. Oh my God. No. Powhatan. Powhatan. Right side of Richmond. Interesting. You learn something new every day. Always find markets I've never heard of. County. Prince Williams. Chesterfield. Right outside of Richmond as well. Walla Walla. Okay, El Paso County. I think I've looked at this before. El Paso County, Colorado. Up at Colorado Springs. Oh my God, there's a lot of land for sale here. Jeez Louise. But still about 100% turnover. Yeah, about 100% turnover. Still a lot of land. Jeez Louise. Very interesting. All right. I think I've got a good bit to work off of here, honestly. Feeling relatively content with what we've sourced. Barron County. Nelson County. So there's 47 available here. 28 Last 3 months. Huh. Interesting. Madison County. All right, guys. So what? It's been about 25 minutes. I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really good markets that frankly I could probably pull about 10,000 to 15,000 records from this. And I'll have to get the remaining balance of whatever, 9,000 to 4,000 mailers. I think in total, it should shake out at about 19,000 mailers total for this challenge. And 25 minutes to do, call it, I don't know, over half of my market selection. Not a bad little dealio there. I'm going to get cracking on going through spot checking pricing, ensuring that I can reliably price these out. And we're going to start getting into the pricing flow and getting these things out. If I can get these sent out before the end of the week, I think we'll be in a really good spot. We should budget about a week or so for the mail house to print it, and then budget another 2 to 4 weeks before it touches down, and then another 2 weeks for it to season. And then we should start getting the leads popping up. That should give us a really good jump start on everyone else in the challenge, because our mail is I doubt there'll be anyone else that gets as much mail out as quickly as we do. And I attribute pretty much all of it to the market selection platform. Now, again, I still have to have the internal infrastructure, aka our team, to handle that volume coming in. That's kind of the other side of the coin, right? If you don't have a team, I'd probably slow roll your marketing a little bit more. But if you want to win, you're going to have to push it out earlier than later, because you need as much time for that marketing to season. I don't care if on the 92nd day you get a great deal. It just doesn't count inside the challenge, right? And so you might have to sacrifice working a little harder, taking more calls, having a bigger spike in bandwidth to try to win this challenge. And that might mean getting mailing out a little earlier or sooner than your usual cadence allots for. So that's just kind of how I'm thinking about it. If you guys do want to get access to Leah Market Selection Platform, it's landinvestor.co/market. I think it's down below in the little doobly-doo. We've got 3 spots left. It's bad to the bone. We've got some really, really cool stuff in the pipe, mainly as it relates to pricing. So tracking median price, tracking that kind of standard deviation, that low to high price, which is really going to help with figuring out, okay, this market has good demand, but can I actually reliably price it out? We're also adding a heat mapping function where you guys can just get a visual kind of heat map on the chart for you guys to see all of it. We're adding new counties, and we're doing this all for zip codes as well. So everything that we've done for counties, we're doing for all the zip codes in the US, which is crazy. It's a big undertaking. We're also working on a course that's going to go in conjunction with this for all users, just kind of showing how we use this to our advantage for both market selection, but also for pricing, kind of giving the ninja scoop on how to really maximize value inside this platform. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get to pricing. Much love. Thanks for hanging out with me. May the best man or woman win in this challenge. Should be a fun one. All right, guys, take care.